Excellent. All right, as you can see, we have our two Zoom people and third human being. Now, on with the show. It's it's not lose a gasket. Okay, whatever. I can actually edit, so I'm not too terribly worried. It's the nuclear apocalypse. Humanity has been divided into two, the slack-jawed zombies and the survivalists surviving on their own urine. But wait, what comes through the rubble? It's the skittering bodies, come in thousands. The cockroach, nasty, dirty, carriers of all known diseases. Or are they? Hi, my name is Morgan Patterson. I am the lead group member of the Entangled Life book club of the San Antonio Public Library System, and I do most of my best work in things creepy, crawly, and spooky. And today we are going to be talking about cockroaches, one of my personal favorite insects and commonly misunderstood anti-hero. Let's get into it. We're going to be covering a total of 3 things here. Our misconceptions about cockroaches, what they're actually good for, if anything, and to round it out, just a couple of fun facts. So, let's get into it. So for our first misconception of the day, we're going to go into the most common, yet most wrong. Cockroaches are dirty. Now, most people's information on the lovely Blattodea comes from the German cockroach. People think they're dirty, nasty, they crawl through the rot, but they are actually fastidiously clean. If a cockroach skitters around and you, for whatever reason, decide to poke one on top of its gorgeous carapace, you will find that they will stop in their tracks, flick their little legs out, and start cleaning their wings because you've just touched them with your nasty skin oils. Now, if they're so clean, where does that notion that they're so dirty come from? Simple. They are house animals in the same way that a house centipede, wolf spider, or humans used to be cave animals. They simply followed us over. Now, most would simply be content to live in your walls and eat your plaster, but if they have a environment that's set up for them to feast, such as crumbs on the floor, meat left out on the counter, they can thrive. So the only time you're really ever going to see the roaches out of their environment is if there's something pulling them out. So I hate to say, most cockroaches go to dirty places because the people made them first. But on with the second bit. Cockroaches are dirty. We know that's not true now, but what about the diseases? Surely cockroaches carry just a whole host of things that can make your arm fall off and your nose turn blue, right? Actually, no. Most vector-carrying insects, such as your famous mosquito or your biting tsetse fly, they carry things like malaria or this Zika virus. But cockroaches have not been found to carry any disease whatsoever. Their bodies make nothing that we actually get sick off of other than a little bit of asthma. And that's something that can be shared with dust mites and, if you'll believe it, shrimp. Now for our third bit. Of course, we know they're not dirty. We know they're not dirty. We know that they are not diseased, but surely they're just dumb, scary little critters in the night, right? No again. Cockroaches actually have an incredibly socially diverse group system, in particular with our German roaches. Now, I read a lovely article for researching this material called Loving Touch Triggers Cockroaches to Make Babies Faster, which is a title I will not be commenting on, by Rachel and Weber, where it was found that when cockroaches come together and they cuddle and they groom one another, their hormones kind of make them better at laying more eggs, which means that they're under less stress. Not only that, but they have found that a cockroach separated from its favorite cockroach friend, if you want to call it that, becomes depressed, distressed. They will skitter around looking for them. If they can't find them, they'll just sit there, sad. So now that you know that those misconceptions we've usually held to be true are false, let's go into what cockroaches actually do. What are they here for? Cockroaches are actually our nature's little janitors. Much like most scavengers, such as your vulture, your hyena, or honestly, their friendly friends, the flies, these guys make sure to pick up our scraps, crumbs on the ground, dead bodies. They make sure that all this stuff isn't just sitting there rotting away and making way for worse and deadlier diseases to come up and get us actually sick. On top of that, they are also a fantastic food source, not just for all the animals out there, but us. We have found that they actually taste quite nice when barbecued. And going into our bug protein craze going on lately, with crickets being susceptible to fungal diseases that can wipe out millions, these guys are a pretty good option if we want to start going towards less heavy meat options. Now, I've taken you with me on this beautiful journey, so I'll reward you with a little bit of a fun fact. Now, the four pest roaches are pretty virulent, but there are over 3,000 species to discover. In another Smithsonian Magazine article, I'm Learning to Love Cockroaches, our researcher brought forth a beautiful array of family members for us to look at. And our first is the Luckeye, one of the giant cockroaches. And as you can see in that picture there, they glow incredibly brightly when exposed to light. Moving on from there, we have our adorable pill roach, which function very similarly to your more lovable, in terms of mainstream media, roly-poly. They can roll around, protect themselves, and if they really want to protect themselves from things like ants, they can just hunker down. Nothing can get past that carapace. And from there, we also have our most famous Madagascar hissing cockroaches. These guys are popular as pets and are known for their very loud sound that they make. Now, what people may not be as much aware of is that these guys are actually capable of rudimentary language. Scientists have found that these guys actually have a distinct meaning for each hiss that they tell each other. These are bugs that talk to each other. And it's the blogger Bob Leach who actually put me onto that. I used to be terrified of these things. They have a lot of legs, they skid around in dark corners. But when I took the time to actually start reading about them and find out that they're not so bad after all, it really opened my heart to these guys. Now, granted, I don't want a lot of them in my house, skittering on my stuff if I can help it, but that's something that I can control in my own way. Now, what we've gone over, we've seen what we get wrong about roaches. We see what they've done, and now we can see just how many beautiful variants that live on this wonderful planet with us. I thank you for taking just a few minutes to open your mind and let these little creepy crawlies creepy crawl into your heart. Thank you so much. And